Oh, I suppose I have my. I suppose the mic is on, right? Yep, of course it is. Actually, I don't even care. The mic can be on. It's cool. Desktop. And I am back from my break. Give me a quick second. Okay, so I'm back. Only about an hour today. Tomorrow it should be regular schedule. Okay. I was off topic. Okay, we'll leave off topic. That is okay. Wait, let's. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, hey, Ergo. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so normally, I don't know what time zone you're in, but normally I'm on the East Coast of the U.S. So, normally I start at 11:30 in the morning. I go 1.5 hours, 90 minutes, whatever, till what is that? 1 o'clock. I take my break at 1 o'clock. I take an hour-long break, and then I come back. I do another 90 minutes till about 3:30, usually. So, but today was a little different because my dad had an appointment, and so I didn't start till late. So it's gonna shorten this down to about 2 hours instead. So, anyways, welcome. Uh, oh, welcome. And it should work on both. Okay. Let me do something real quick. Go back to channel content and refresh the page. I always open a YouTube window and a Rumble window to my current streams just so I can monitor how things are going. And just give me a second. I am a restream, at least on the YouTube one, in the description. A restream always puts it's made with restream, live stream, 30 plus platforms thing, and it puts it as the first line, which annoys me to no end. But I always move it. But it doesn't do it with Rumble for some reason. For some reason, it doesn't do a lot of stuff with Rumble, which is kind of interesting. But it still it still works. So I'm still streaming on both. Uh, Now that should say part two, I think. Yes, that says part two. Good, good, good. And everything is good, and everything's hunky dory. Okay, so anyways, yeah, and uh, you can find me at this link, at the same link. It's just a link tree that I set up. In fact, I should check it periodically so to see if they ever changed or whatever. Anywho, the reason I have Blender up here is because I'm trying to add more interest to my streams because I think people find it kind of boring. Although being here in the Redot editor, it's not that boring. I'm sure. I mean, at least not for people that use Redot. But half the time I am on like a Chat GPT or Grok or something and asking it for ideas because sometimes I get stumped and sometimes I want to get the juices flowing. I rarely actually use the AI's ideas, but it's a way for me to like bounce ideas off of. So, but right now all I'm doing is I've already come up with here. Let me pull up my notes again. Um, and I don't actually need the notes right now because I already know everything I'm going to do here. But just to show you, uh, especially if you're new, um, comes new version. Okay. Um, so this is actually probably what I'm working on. Okay. So I don't know if you know anything about my game. it probably take me too long to explain everything all over again, but basic premise is the story is it was a magic kingdom that they turned into a tourist resort that's now has fallen on hard times, and we're in the game. You're going to be trying to figure out how come things are acting weird. People are disappearing, and the king acts weird, and all the schools and stuff get boarded up and closed up and stuff like that. And it's an adventure game. And instead of going to doing a straight out full point and click interactive graphic adventure, like the kind like Monkey Island or whatever, you know, um, I decided to do it in phases and start with the most simplest form of adventure, which would be a choose your own adventure. And even this game isn't really a true choose your own adventure at this point. It's just it's this one ending, and uh, but basically I have the choices in there. And after each phase is done, I'm going to expand the story out and add features to the framework. So right now it's just straight up you pick a choice and it goes to that page and that's all it does. And it goes forward, it doesn't go backward, it doesn't do loops or anything like that. It's just a really super basic, In fact, I can go ahead and actually let's see, let's do something here. Let's save this. Let's save the data here. In fact, let's go ahead and reload save scene. Just want to do that. Um, this is a special like editor scene. Okay, okay, it's called layout tool because I started with if you look here, it's this is the Redot editor, and basically I made them all tool scripts, and so I have this visual. I have like a room class which has just the like ID description, like title and chapter. That's what all of this is. ID, title, chapter, doors, and they're saved in JSON files. And but then I have this class called layout room, which is basically all this display stuff. So this is like a panel, right? This is a line drawing on a Node 2D here, and then I have this is to save the room data. You don't save it like I'm not saving the scene kind of on purpose because the game runs off the JSON files. It doesn't run off of these scenes. I have too many scenes and stuff here, so I load them in separately. And okay, so let me run the game real quick. In fact, let me go to um, let's go to chapter 5 here. This is the ID copy, and I'm gonna run it. And I have a little bit what you almost would call a console, but it's not really a console. It's just like one line is like one command, and that's all it does here. But switch room, and then I'll paste that. That's kind of the cool thing about the multi-line input thing in Redot or Godot, whatever you want to say. And right now I'm still using 4.3, so um, and just here, just in case you left because Blender, grease, pencil, and knife for sketches are on the screen. I'm switching between the Redot editor and Blender occasionally. Okay, so and to anybody watching this or watching it later, whatever, these are just 3D objects, Node 3D in Godot because eventually I'm thinking of a 3D component where my backgrounds are all are actual 3D objects, basically 3D backgrounds or however you want to say it, that are painted to look are textured to look hand painted. And then I get the the added thing Okay, no sweat. You can pop in or out at your leisure. Okay, so all right. So this is the actual game here. Um, okay. Oh, oh, I see. That hi there was probably from the previous stream, right? Was from the other stream. So, um, with the restream chat plugin, I just see it as unbroken chat window or whatever. But anyways, I was basically explaining. I don't know if you even know anything about the game. Um, Here, let's type this in because I always get this weird thing about talking to the camera and then typing stuff in. Welcome back. Go. And sorry, I keep capitalizing ER and ergo. Yeah. Uh, Apologies for capitalizing that. It's just when I capitalize E and then it's easy to just switch to R because E and R are right next to each other. I don't do that on purpose. Okay, so this is the actual game part here. This is the game. Um, and these are 3D objects in the background. I was explaining that I kind of have a plan in the future when everything is done, when it's like a full like graphic adventure, because I'm doing this in phases. So right now it's just a text phase right here, and um, so I just put a couple of 3D objects in the background. I might just take them back out because I don't need to mess with that. You know, if you know how to use nodes, 2D nodes, you know how to use 3D nodes. I'm sure there's a little bit of different stuff that goes with it. But at first I was thinking, well, it'd be nice if I just had like a little something, a little 3D something in here for later, so I can kind of think of how to put stuff in there because it's got a camera, it's got a lighting source, and then it's got, of course, these two objects, and that's all it is. So the rest of this is just text here. So I hit one to continue. Oh, I have to actually slip the deal here. Hit one to continue. Now this is what I call the event pass. So basically, what it means is these are things that happen. It doesn't read like a story or anything right now. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can put it up on itch.io maybe when I get this pass done. Then I'll do a narrative pass, which means I'll go over it and I'll actually put paragraphs and it'll read like a story. Here when John decided to find and rescue the princess by contacting his old friend the Count. Here it sends the Count to the Grand Enchanted Landing Hotel. And if you don't know, the Count is a vampire and he's gonna turn into a bat here to go and spy stuff out. Meanwhile, in the wine cellar of the hotel, the princess is tied to a wine cask. With the help of some mice, she manages to get free of the ropes binding her. The princess climbs the central staircase and finds the kitchen door locked and blocked. When she comes back down, she looks left and right and behind her. To her left, she sees what looks to be a tasting alcove, and to the right, more wine cases. Looking behind her, she sees the wine cellar stretching out in the darkness. Hit 1 to explore what's behind the staircase. Hit 2 to check out the tasting alcove. So we're going to hit 2 right now. This is not a necessary location, but stuff that's got to be there for later. And it's like I said, all you're doing is you're just picking choices, right? Like a choose your own adventure game, or book, whatever you want to call it, game book. Princess goes left, and then when she gets to the end, she sees a few upturned wine casks. They seem to be doubling as tables, as there are a few chairs around. One has a cheese wheel with a knife sticking out of it. Another has a few half-empty wine glasses, and a third a wine bucket with an ice pick inside. And I actually, if you look at the couple of previous streams, I kind of went into detail about the ice pick being in the wine cellar and why it can possibly be in there and stuff. So if you're interested, it's not a big deal though. Okay, so I hit 1 to go back to the staircase. At the back of the staircase, she walks behind it into the darkness. On the left wall are more wine cases. On the right, there's a long table. Where the table ends, there's a dumbwaiter that appears to go upward. Hoping the dumbwaiter will eventually be called, she climbs inside, wraps her cloak around her tightly, and covers herself up. Just then, the dumbwaiter starts to move. So now we hit 1. And then this is where I'm starting to actually going to put some more decisions, more choices in here. after a few short minutes, dumbwaiter stops. And anyways, that's you get the kind of the gist of the idea here. And to show you that I'm using Redot here, these are, let's go to the scripts real quick. And okay, so layout camera, layout cursor. This all has to do with the tool. Here, let me show you the tool here, which is basically just the scene. Okay, so I load these as JSON files because there's so many of them. I'm not making each room within the editor. I am using the editor, but I'm uh, I made I made the little plugin. This is the custom save. This is the stuff to attach buttons. There's a save button, and there's that add and remove room button. Okay, a door is just ID, choice of destination. It's nothing. Room is just there's just three deals or four deals here. There's ID, there's title, which used to be called label. There's the chapter name. That's just a string, and then the description is your main string. And if you want to tell people uh, what what options there are, you have to do it in the description because I don't have anything else here. It's just a super basic. You press the button and it switches to the destination. It was really simple. In fact, all of this I did in like a week or less than a week. It was super simple to do. Now I have this thing called layout room, which is basically is the visual representation. That's what you see here. That's why you see the this is actually what's that, a click area or whatever they call that, collision area, or I forget what it's called. It's a click area, right? Interactive area. Anyways, it's an area, area 2D. So that way I can have these little boxes here, and I can move these around. Like I can do, I can just do this, move this around like that, and then of course I edit it in the editor. This is the description text, which I basically made available to the inspector by an export. So it's an export multi-line. You can change the chapter, you can change the title, and you can change the ID if you want. And then to be able to save them, you have to hit Save Room Data. That's my little plugin button there. So, and then I'm also working on a layout tool. Basically, you can zoom in and zoom out, and you can select this and you can move it around. So you select it, you can box select, you can do control like that, right? And then it would move these around. You can do a shift. Shift just adds, right? How do I do it? Okay. Okay, so if I click on this, it's just going to do that, right? So if I select all these and I hit control that, it's going to remove that. If I do, if I select these and then I hit shift and that, then it adds. So it's got this basic functionality. It doesn't do anything else. I mean, I got the camera, I got the zoom, I got all that working. But right now I don't have. You can't edit any rooms in this just yet. In fact, I was going to go ahead and do a save deal so that when you moved these around, it would actually save their positions and stuff. So I just have the save code. I just need to put a button in the actual tool. Okay, but that's not what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to finish off "quote unquote" Chapter 5, and it's just basically these things that I basically segmented all of the story beats into these chunks. In fact, I have an older version that has like a bunch of has a bunch of these rooms, and it was like taking me way long. So like I had originally 93 pages, right? 93 separate story beats, and then what I start to do is I go through it, and then I'd say, okay, where could I put some interesting like decision points in here, and then I would add them in between two, and then I would do that. And I'm still kind of doing the same thing, but it's I'm doing it a little bit slightly different. Um, So it was just taking me. It took me like we'll say 9 months. We'll say almost a year or whatever to get to like 20%. I'm already at 20% here, and it's only taken me like a month or so. Part of that's because I've been using my old some of my old rooms for these other parts up here, and um, I'm about ready to run out of old stuff that I've already done. So what I did basically is I can reconsolidated this so that there are less spots to put things into. So it would take way less time, and I'm shooting for the end of March instead of like this was supposed to take only a few months, and but because of the way I was doing it, it was just taking forever, and wasn't getting very far. So here I am restarting. That's why when I read this, um, that is why there's so much stuff in here because there's actually a little bit more that went on. The mice come out. She gets them to do something. I forget exactly what all I had put in here or was going to put in here. Anyways, uh, there's plenty of time. There's plenty of space to actually re-expand it out to. Anyways, what I'm working on right now is I'm working on this part, which says dumbwaiter starts, the doors open part way, the cook shoves a tray in, not really paying attention. In fact, there's something in there's something in the dumbwaiter. She then closes the door back and sends it upward. When it stops again, the door slides open partially. A couple of hands pull the tray out, close the door. When the princess hears the guards moving away, she decides to peek out. The dumb waiter opens to a small room with some double doors where she can see. And then I had stopped there because I uh, I had visualized this a different way. Originally, it was just going to open directly out onto into the hallway. This is a really crappy sketch here uh, of the kind of the layout of the hallway. And down here, this represents some double doors where there's like a little staging area for the help. So there's like there'll be like staircases, there'll be hallways, there'll be elevators, whatever. Maybe not elevators. I haven't decided yet how I'll do that. The dumbwaiter is there. Dumbwaiter wasn't invented until 18 something. Um, this is set in contemporary times, but it's a magic kingdom, so it's like sort of like a medieval kingdom, the way things are set up. And so I may put an elevator in there or not. It really depends. But this here on the side here, where my mouse is, are representing staircases. So a staircase comes down, and another staircase goes down, right? So that you can go to the different levels. And then, of course, this is the staging area. And then this, I was doing a sketch of the current staging area, uh, where if you're looking out here into the picture, it would be the princess's point of view. So on the wall, on the wall, the near wall here would be where the dumbwaiter is, and it opens up into here, and so she can go down here. Now there was a couple of things I was thinking. I was thinking there would be like a servant's hallway down here, but the only problem is I want the princess to go down to the main hallway with the hotel rooms. I don't want her to go in any other place. So I might just erase that and here. Let's see. So I'm sketching this just so I can kind of visualize what I'm going to put in the text. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I think people find that me building the game is not very interesting when I'm just typing text in. Of course, when I'm in the editor, it's fine because people can see that I'm actually using the Read editor and using the inspector or whatever. Um, but so I figured I need something semi interesting on those times that I'm like talking to ChatGPT or something. So I'm gonna figure out something that makes things visually interesting. that's what even what I'm trying to do right here is I'm trying to make things visually interesting. As you can see, my drawing is pretty crappy, and um, that's because my line control is really terrible on the graphics tablet. I mean, it's really bad. Even on paper, it's not that great because my hands are shaky. Um, but so yeah, so I'm closing this off. I'm gonna make this be maybe a door that's a locked door, and it doesn't really matter as far as the choices are concerned. It only matters story wise. Okay, so we're gonna assume. Here, let me see. I have really hard time drawing on the tablet. Just part of it's the line control, part of it's my shaky hands, part of it's just because I'm not that great of a at drawing. See, look at that. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Here, let's just go ahead and that's even worse. Man, land of Goshen, they used to say. Uh, and there. Okay, that'll I guess that'll do. I don't know. We'll make it bigger. Okay, I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. Redo. uh, Redo. Important question. How could pronounce it as redot, as in regeneration, and dot as in dot com. Now the way I say it is redot as in red dot, which is the correct one. It's critical. Yeah, okay, I didn't even notice the conversation. Yeah, okay, so I used to call Godot Godot. I mean, I just did, you know. For one thing, I'm American, and I'm pronouncing it the way I read it, right? Not Godot. Like waiting for Godot, you know. You're like or Gal Gadot. I'm just like Godot. Come on. I was just like Godot, and so I started calling it Godot because everybody's like, that's how you pronounce it. That's how the what devs pronounce it, or whatever. And then when it comes to Redot, Redot, however you want to pronounce it, I say Redot. So uh, whatever you pronounce it, how you pronounce it, I'll pronounce it how I pronounce it, uh, and we'll both be fine with it, right? Okay. Anyways, if somebody really did have a problem with me, the way I pronounce it, I would change it, I'm sure. But it's not really an issue. Okay. So this is kind of what we're looking at here, and yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see if I can practice drawing straight lines and curves and stuff, and just doing like a crap ton of them, so that eventually, I will just I'll know how to draw it. I have this tablet, by the way, is like from 2007. I bought it in like 2010, so it's like it's almost 20 years old. The tablet itself is almost 20 years old. In fact, I think, um, did I have, oh, this is made in China. Well, shut my mouth. Um, does it have anything that would show me the year that was actually manufactured? The thing is, it's an Intuos 3. Oh, and then there's the pronunciation of Wacom or Wake. I used to call it Wacom sometimes. Uh, or Wacom. Just like, how do you pronounce this thing? Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's a Wacom, whatever. Intuos 3 from it's like 2007, and this is like I bought it in 2010, I believe, around that time, for around 300 bucks, I think it was. So I've had this for a long time. It's a non-screen one, of course, obviously, and so I have to get used to actually like doing lines like I can do horizontal lines pretty good like that. If I do vertical lines want to go one way or the other. They just cannot stay straight. Although this isn't too bad, but if I try to draw a long line, you know, it just it wants to go all over the place. See, look at that. That's horrible. Anyways, here let's just do 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 do. Okay, let's save that. All right, let's get back to the game because I only have about half an hour or so. Maybe I'll give myself an extra 10 minutes or so, but okay. So now let's get back to oh, hold on a second. Sorry to stay consistent. Oh yeah, yeah. In a way, it is, especially my lazy butt. I was just talking to somebody in Discord about saying it's hard to stay consistent, which is true. I try to stay consistent, but there's things that get in the way. Life gets in the way, so I don't always do it consistently. And even when I have the time and I'm ready and everything, and I can just come in here whenever I want, sometimes I'm in here late all the time. I'm late all the time. I'm Mr. Late, which I shouldn't be, especially if I want people to come in here. Wake on into us. Uh, Oh, sorry, everybody. I didn't notice you're in the chat thing because I was like paying attention to something else. That's usually what happens. I got ADD, so I get distracted really easily. So just curious about how people pronounce it. It's no problem. I've owned two of those. Um, don't have any now and need it sometimes to sign contracts. Yeah. Anyways, the Intos 3, it's a workhorse. It's got one spot on here. Like, okay, so it's got like this vinyl like thing over the top of the main like drawing area. In fact, I used to be able to actually pill it up a little bit, but for some reason I can't lately. But there's one spot where it's like war in here, and I didn't even use this stupid thing that much. And yeah, it's that old, but it's I've had it since 2010, but uh I didn't use it that much, but somehow I managed to wear in part of the vinyl, so it like kind of I don't know if you can even see it when I draw over it, but here, let's just here. So, and I don't know if you can even tell it, but you can't really tell it. There's a little. It's kind of like a break or whatever in the thing. So yeah, with my Amazon, I got some Amazon gift card stuff, and I was thinking about getting a new graphics tablet, but then I also was going, my computer chair is just collapsing, and it's a gaming chair. I don't even do that much gaming. Occasionally I'll do something, but I make games, so I'm spending most of the time just like typing in here. So I decided to get a new desk, and this desk is pretty big, but it's not big enough because I got a TV as a second monitor, and so it's the little 1080p thing, but it's a widescreen, so effectively cuts off some of my desk space. In fact, I was thinking about getting like a monitor, like a riser or whatever, a monitor shelf, and but I ended up getting a new desk. It's a standing desk, so I can adjust it to standing and stuff. It's bigger in width and or depth, and it's a little bit bigger in width too. So that should help me with my space problems. It's not real space problems. I got a bunch of junk on the end, but my main thing here is my main monitor is huge, and it's going back as far as it can go right now. And so I have like limited space here where the keyboard and I have the mouse and I have the secondary monitor on a shoebox and you know, it's taking up space, and I don't know, it's kind of a big pain in the butt. Anyways, let's get back to the thing before I waste any more time. Okay, so she's going to be looking through here, and to her left is going to be these double doors, which actually lead to the actual hallway, the guest hallway. Uh, and that would be like, this is actually looking. This is the double doors at the other end. This is not the same double door, but it's got the same setup. It's got the little what do you call, staging area or whatever. So like when room service comes up, they usually come up either in an elevator or the stairs or through a hallway. That's why I was gonna put a hallway in there. And you know what? Maybe what I could do is I could go ahead and add. Now you can see this. The thicker line here is because I'm using a mouse. I do much better on the mouse than I do with the freehand drawing, anyways. Um, but we can just say that there is a door here, and it's a locked door, and this back here, is a locked door here. Um, I'm very inconsistent which side I put the door handle or the doorknob or whatever on. Okay, so it seems like me pulling out Blender to sketch some stuff is actually taking more time than it would have normally, but if it means more people would stay watching, then I'd probably do it. Right now, I have only 3 viewers, and 2 of them might be myself. So, honestly, YouTube and Rumble should know that I am the owner of the channel, so it should know not to count me as a viewer to the channel, even though I'm opening up a new tab to the stream. But whatever, it's fine. Um, to which she can see the yeah, she comes out there. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Okay. Now that still should be okay, right? No, something's not right. What's not right? Okay, yeah, there's a staging area behind there, and then these are the guest stairs. So the guest comes up here. These are actually the back stairs because we're looking at we're looking at the other side. So uh, usually the dumbwaiter would have been right here on the closest wall here. Um, but the way I have the layout, I had to put it like behind somewhere like a door. So like it's in this little staging area, and we're just gonna say these doors are locked. Uh, and later when you try to open them, it'll say these doors are locked or some such thing. Um, yeah. So she looks in. Okay, so she can see the guest hallway. Um, hold on. Okay, so let me check something here. That's that, and then this one. What does this one says? She stumbles on a room. Okay, so these are in between here, right? Okay. So okay. This is already super long here. I have to figure out a way of shortening it, maybe, or dividing it into a couple of separate deals. Here, let's do the thing because let's remove a lot of the stuff here. Um, maybe put it in afterwards because right now this is still an event pass, and so I just want the important events. It's not important that okay. So let's send it back upward. Okay. Um, I'm gonna do this differently. The dumbwaiter stops a couple of times. Once in the kitchen and once on one of the guest floors. As guards move away, after some hands remove a tray that was placed there earlier. Okay. Let's see, dumbwaiter stops a couple times, once in the kitchen to receive a couple times. Let's see if I can do this in a shortened. A tray is put in at the kitchen and removed at one of the guest floors. Here's guards moving away. She decides to peek out, and it should be peek, not peek. Peek, not peek. Peek out. The dumbwaiter opens a small room with some double doors, which she can see the guest hallway. As no one appears to be in there, she starts toward the other end. She starts towards the other end. Let's see. As no one appears to be in there, she starts towards the other end, but then hears voices and starts back. Let's see. I did do it differently. She goes through the double doors and then starts to go down the stairs when she hears a voice. She goes back up and to the other end of the hallway, and but then also hears voices there. As she's heading, okay, let's see something here. As she's heading back, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so the on the left, as she's coming back towards where she came out of, on the left, and it's actually the first door. It's actually the first door on the right when she comes out. But she's coming out. She starts going towards the other end. She comes back up, and now the closet's on her left instead of the right. So, she notices. Let's see. She's heading back. She figures she needs to duck into one of the rooms, or maybe room, closet, on the right, on the left. Let's see some here. She sees, the, let's see, as she's heading back, She sees a broom closet. She sees a closet. Near this staircase. Near the front staircase, we'll say. She also spots, so realizes she could duck into one of the rooms, hotel rooms. Hit 1, 2. Yeah, and the way I described it earlier was that it was on her right and left because she was coming into the deal, so walking into the deal. Um, 1 to check out the closet. Hit 2 to check out the closet. We'll say on the left. Hit 2 to check out the first room. It has to be the last room. It has to be the way you're pointing and stuff. So, um, um, hit 1, 2. Okay. Check out the closet nearest the dumbwaiter. We're gonna assume that they don't have a dumbwaiter in the back, maybe, or maybe they do, but I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. Hit 1 to check out the closet nearest the dumbwaiter. On the left. Hit 2 to duck into the room nearest the front stairs. Facing the dumbwaiter. Nearest the front stairs. Wait. Check out the closet nearest the nearest? I don't know. Nearest doesn't sound right. Near the dumbwaiter. Check out the closet near the dumbwaiter on the left. Room near the dumbwaiter on the nearest. Duck into the nearest room to the dumbwaiter on the right. Hit 3 to duck into the into the room beside. I don't know. It's it's like the door to the right, but if you're facing away, it's okay. So we're gonna say the door to the right of it. Into the room. Into the second. Into the room. That's the second nearest one to the dumbwaiter. Okay, well, I guess that sounds alright. I don't know. Okay, let's just go ahead and hit. What am I looking at? Okay, let me go back to redoot. Reddit, Reddot, Redo, Redo, Redditor. Uh, okay, Red Otter, Red Otter. What happened to Red Otter? Um. Okay, so all right. Let me check. I'm gonna check something here. Do that. I'm gonna save it. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to go ahead and run this. Oop, did I do? No, I didn't. I guess whatever. Switch room. B. Let's get to room. 1, 1. Find the staircase. Hit 1, 2. Wait a second. I need a way to pull up the last command you used or something. 1. Wine cellar. Took 1. To explore what's behind the staircase. Back of the staircase, she walks behind into the darkness, left wall or more in the right. Okay, I see. Then waiter starts to move. Hit 1. That's kind of long, but it's actually not horrible either, so that's not a bad thing there. Uh, Dumbledore stops a couple of times. Trey's put in at the kitchen and then moves at one of the guest floors. When the princess hears the guards moving away, she decides to speak out. Dumbledore opens to a small room with some double doors to which she can see the guest hall. She goes through the double doors and then starts to go down the stairs when she hears a voice. She goes back up to the other end of the hallway, but then also hears voices there. As she's heading back, she sees a closet near the front staircase. She also realizes she can duck into one of the hotel rooms. Hit 1 to check out the closet near the dumbwaiter on the left. Hit 2 to check out the nearest room to the dumbwaiter on the right. Hit 3 to duck into this room that's second nearest one to the dumbwaiter. Okay. There we go. And then 1, she stumbles on the room, and that's the map room, and that's going to be the second room, the second nearest room. In other words, if you're coming in, when you're coming out the dumbwaiter, you go through the double doors, and there are the staircases, and then you go past the staircases into the actual hallway, the guest hallway. And so on your left, you have a row of rooms, right? In fact, what I showed here on the thing here. So you have these. This is facing downward. Okay, she's gonna be facing backwards. She's gonna be facing the camera when she comes back up. She comes over here. Uh, in fact, I don't know if I could draw down here, right? And I won't do that much, but we'll just say that there is a staircase, right? That's a staircase right there. And so there, burr, 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 burr. I know it's a crappy looking staircase, but you get the idea. It comes down here. There's actually one on the other side too. And then this actually goes downward. That. So it actually goes down there, and this goes down here. So, and then there's the staircases that over here, the guest staircase. So she comes out of the room here, and then she goes past the staircases into here. Uh, she's about ready to go down one of the. She's about ready to go to this front staircase here. She's about ready to go down here when she hears a voice. So she goes over here. She goes back up here, and then she goes into here, and then she runs down this way, only to hear voices coming over here. So then she comes back up here toward the camera, you might say, and so then when she's facing this way, when she's facing the camera, then the closet, the broom closet, there's on the left, or linen closet. It can be linen closet, whatever. And then the two empty rooms are on her right. Okay, so this one's an empty room. The map room is number 2, and then this is the closet. And then I have a couple of ways that if you choose the empty room first, then you can deck out into the closet or the map room. Uh, uh, And I forget how I said I do it because you basically can go back to the closet. Uh, how do I do? How did I say that? Maybe it's in my notes here because I was talking with ChatGPT or whatever. Closet first. Hyde speaks through the crack. The right guard enters another room. She sees opportunity. Move to the map room. End sequence. Uh, empty ro- empty room option is not offered here because the story funnels her toward the map room. Um, yeah, yeah, maybe that's, I don't know. I don't know if that works now. Empty room. She sees hides. Hasn't reached the hallway yet. Move to the map room or closet. If she picks closet, sequence plays like the first case. Peek and then move to the map room. If she picks the map room, she immediately gets documents. Recapture. Branch ends. She cannot go back to the empty room. Duplicate pages handle the funneling. Um, yeah, I might have to temper that a little bit because that doesn't really work. Because if you go into the closet first, um, the empty room in the map room should be what you can go into. So, if I'm doing this the way where I do the multiple pages to handle the funneling, then what's going to happen is if she goes to the empty room first, she can go to the closet or the map room. Um, oh yeah. Okay, so the way you do it is you base it on. Okay, I see the way I said that. You base it on the on what she's already done. Okay, so you go to the empty room first. You can pick either the closet or the map room. Now, if you pick the closet, and then you see out, then you realize you are already in the empty room, and so the only place to go is the map room. So it won't give you that choice. You won't have the extra choice. It'll just, like I said, it'll be a duplicate page, right? So it'll be like empty room, closet, and then map room. But you can also go to the map room first. If you go to the empty room and then go to the map room, she gets captured. Okay, she gets the documents. If you go to the closet first, she can go to the empty room or the map room, and then she doesn't go back into the closet. She actually goes to the next room over because she's already in the closet, right? And so you can just kind of frame it in the story in the way where they're not in the hallway or they're walking away or whatever, uh, to say why how she escapes, right? In a full point and click graphic adventure, you probably have the guards walking back and forth searching for her, and you probably can go into a number of different rooms, right? I can actually make it to where that does that. And then I can still make the story go the way I want. In other words, she doesn't get caught in any of the rooms, even though they can catch her story wise. Like if you're living it out, right? She could actually get caught in any one of these deals. But in the way I direct the story is that they don't capture her until she goes to the map room. It's the timing of the event timing thing, right? So you don't get stuck in that sort of thing. The other optional thing to do is where she gets captured and then she's returned and returned several times. And I was also thinking about that a little bit, um, because like in Monkey Island, you get locked into the hut with the vegetarian cannibals, and somehow you manage to escape outside. I forget, you have something with you or whatever that allows you to pry the floorboards up, and then you can leave. And then when you come back, then of course they put you back in the room again, and each successive time gets a bigger and bigger lock. And eventually they just uh, they they kind of leave you alone after that. Um, but that's the way you can do this story wise, anyways. Okay, so all right. So, granted, I didn't get that much done today, but you know what? I did get some done. I did get a page here. I decided what does what, and I kind of explained it and I kind of showed it. And so, hopefully, this makes for a more interesting stream, right? I got to figure out like visual ways to make the stream more interesting, so that it's just not boring all the way through. There's gonna be times when I'm talking to Chat GPT, or I'm just I'm trying to figure things out logically and stuff, that it's just gonna naturally be boring. I mean, it is, or uninteresting. So for those times like that, I'll have to do what I said before, which is I'll have to like start sketching stuff offline, and then like playing the video back while I'm talking and explaining stuff or whatever. If I do that, then I can keep it visually interesting, and maybe that means that more people would come in here. They wouldn't maybe automatically leave, or maybe some of you guys would be so interested in it that you tell other people, "Oh yeah, there's this guy making this game over here, and he's blah 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 blah," whatever. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome if you could tell people about the stream, but I'm not begging or anything. But anyways, so yeah, that about does it for today. I mean, I suppose I could have extended a couple more minutes because I did go over my break a little bit. But um, I think uh, here let's do one more thing here. Okay, so we're gonna have three options, right? We have three options, and I'm not always going to do. It's probably going to do a. It's going to be a different kind of split. Here, let me show you what I mean. This is my classic split. This is my classic 15 split. I call it 15 split because there are three choices, and I want you to hit all three choices in any order you want to do them in. To do that, because I don't. Thanks for that vote of confidence there, Ergo. Um, but okay, so these are 15 pages. So what it is I have three choices, and then three choices have two remaining choices, right? So each one has two remaining ones. So that's six more pages, and then each of the two remaining choices only has one option left, right? So you can hit them in any order, and you can all three of them. That's a way to let you be able to hit all the decision points um, in any order you want to do them in. And I could do that here, but it's not going to be. You're not going to do you're not going to hit all of them in every order. So if you hit the map room, it's over with right away. I know it kind of short circuits it up. So if somebody chooses that, maybe they never see the other pages, which is kind of okay, just because of the nature of this phase, which is phase one, is not a full game. It's not a full like game book like Choose Your Own Adventure that has multiple endings, some dead ends, that sort of thing, um, and or any kind of like a loop. If you're reading a page and it says go to page this, and then you read it and then it says now go back to this other page. I don't have anything like that, and I also don't have any save states in it. So you can't you can't like have an inventory item and have it later. You can't flip on a light switch and then come back to it and come back to the same one, because then the light switch wouldn't be on. So in order to have the light switch stay on, I have to write another page in the same room the way it is now. Later on, I'm going to change it. I'll evolve the framework to a point where it's a full text adventure with parser, where you get to type in everything. You have inventory, you have puzzles, all that stuff, and then I'll start introducing graphics. So some images, some background audio, and eventually I'll develop into a full point and click. And that's going to take a long time. But since I am not really concerned with selling this per se, I'm not saying that I would never do that. I'm just saying I decided to focus on the development of it, and sharing the complete inner workings of everything that goes on. And then I was thinking I might would release it for free at the end, uh, just as sort of a payoff for people watching and going on going on this journey with me. would you go on this journey with me? No, anyways, that's just goofy stuff. But so what was I getting to? See, I kind of go off and whatever on a tangent. Anyways, this isn't going to be a 15 deal right here. Oh, anyways, I was just saying it's not a full game yet. It'll be a game like later when I had puzzles and stuff like that. So, anyways, it's just more like an interactive narrative at this point, right? And that's why I wasn't doing any drawings or anything. But people find this text stuff kind of boring. So I'm going to try to add more visual interest. I'm going to try to start concepting a little bit because it will have graphics eventually. It's just at the time, this first phase is just going to be all text right now. So, anyways, so yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow at normal time, which is 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, or I don't know, is it Eastern Daylight Time now? I can't forget it. Spring forward, fall back. We fell back, so that would be Standard Time, and then Eastern Daylight Time is when we spring forward. I don't remember. Anyways, whatever whatever Eastern U.S. time or Eastern North American time, and you can extrapolate based on where you're at. It's like 11:30 is like 5:30 in the UK, right? And in India, it's it's more like 10 o'clock because they're actually their time zones are on like the half hour. In fact, there's a country near India, a small country. I forget what it is. It's not Tibet, but it's one of those little tiny countries, Asian countries over there, and they're like on the 45th minute. It's kind of weird. It's like really weird. But anyways, so yeah, 11:30 Eastern tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, thanks for watching, joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. If I see you tomorrow, if I talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for watching part 2. Yeah, that's okay, Ergo. It's fine. You don't have to pop in if you don't want to. That's like I said. Pop in at your leisure. Pop in, see how it goes, and then pop out. It's fine. I'd love it if you would watch everything that I put out. Every minute of every stream. But you have life and you have stuff you like to do and whatever. I'm not even one of the more interesting streamers out there. But anyways, yeah. Take it easy, everybody, and I'll talk to you later.